I'm going to go back and hit, instead of character sheet, we're going to go with monster sheet, non-human villain. We got our monsters now, so let's go ahead and let's get our cutesy little monsters here. And we could always mix and match these too, you know, but that's a bit nitpicky for what we want to do here. So I'm going to go actually with the second one here. And now what we're going to do is load up the new Photoshop beta, and we're going to start messing around with this image to create a really quick character sheet for this. So now that we have everything like split up pretty nice on here, I just simply select the character art like this and copy that and then paste it into Discord. That simple. It does not respect alphas, so at least for copying and pasting. So instead we're just going to, like, Midjourney largely sees white as negative space, as just nothing there, and especially for an EG where it's like white could represent like a paper on a page and stuff. Yeah, it's not ideal that we don't have PNGs of this stuff, but we can easily make PNGs. We can easily do this correctly, but we're going to do really well, I feel like, with just these sort of close-ups and such. Cool. So we have all the URLs here. I'm just going to copy them and type /imagine. By evoking directly a cat, I think we're going to end up with some better results. We have the ability to say, we have the cat here. We can consider this a whole page if we wanted to, and then generate what would be the next page as a separate prompt. There we go. So yeah, I mean it's definitely a lot angrier, a lot more complex. I asked for a smoke cat of sorts, so that works. I think if we went with just to give us a nice strong silhouette here, but also give us a little bit of information about what the cat is and such, I think we want to go with something more like the third here. So we get a little bit of flames, a little bit of fun action there. Our goal is to effectively try to make this continuous through the environment. First thing I'm going to do is create an aesthetic plate. The aesthetic plate will be by taking this original image that we had. We don't need the up-resed or upscaled version of it. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Photoshop here. And creating the aesthetic plate is pretty easy. You just come into here and you remove anything that has a character in it. Even like shadows and things that might represent the character. We're just going to get rid of that because we do not want people to be, or at least a butchered version of our character to be generated in here. And this is pretty neat to see because generative fill, again, without anything written, tends to do amazing stuff. So we'll go ahead and come into here. Cool. All right, so let's check out our three options here. We got a relatively nice clean staircase coming up here. Some brokenness there. It doesn't really matter too much at this point which one we pick, but for the sake of argument, I think this is probably the most realistic. There was like a minor collapse or something in the stairs and they fell over to the side of it or something like that. So neat. But now we'll go ahead and flatten this, copy it over, paste it back into Discord, and then take all of our image prompts that we had earlier for the cat and basically combine the two. So this is way too many reference images of the cat to really it's probably going to dominate the results here. All right, let's take a look. So the first things that I'm noticing right off the bat is that you know, it's giving it legs, it's giving it much more of a cat-like body and stuff, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it may not be exactly what we're going for, and it's just dominating the image. When my goal here is to, and it took out some aspects of the aesthetic plate, like the colors are kind of there and stuff, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to restrict this to just the initial URLs, because it seems like there's just too much cat in there. And maybe we can just do an EG5 and just see what it kind of pulls up without tons of references for this cat, because it's definitely kind of self-referencing these images to the point where it's just the whole the whole thing. My goal is to essentially get an idea of the results so that then I can go double back, and this is a lot better already off the bat because the cat's not massively in the frame, you know what I mean? Like I think this is gonna work. Aesthetic plate, it's honestly like a great solution for a lot of this stuff. In fact, I think this is gonna work if I hop back over to Photoshop here. I think that for the panel here, the bottom where the cat's kind of looking down, one of the ones we just generated might work well for that. So let's hop over to Discord and take a look. So that looks cool. We're definitely getting some cool imagery out of this, so I think this is gonna work. We're gonna go ahead and copy that over. We're gonna come back to our prompt. I'm going to try to pan right again, but this time we are going to replace everything with the text that we had seen that we liked, that we thought was cool. I'm just gonna let this run and see what it does. Because keep in mind, the main difference now is from the previous stuff is that we've included an aesthetic plate. We've also dropped the number of image references for the cat pretty significantly. And that created these pictures here. Some pretty cool. I like the first one and the fourth one. If we don't like the angle of this, I can give it a camera direction as well. Oh, I'm liking how these coming out. Yes, this is working. So that's pretty cool. And now this character can tell a story to the ears or whisper suggestions to the character. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I'm feeling here from these. Probably what looks the most fun for this will be the first one or the third one, maybe the second one. If we do them in reverse, so that this one is the first, then that, it could be like, you know, 3 points of conversation for the character. So let's try that real quick. I will go ahead and copy all of these into a new canvas. Now that we have these 3 panels that all match the same reference images, we can effectively tell a story with just these panels here. So I'll go ahead and highlight in and delete everything that we do not need. So this one here, because they're redundant. Give them a believable border. I legitimately think people are gonna report my channel on Twitch. That's how paranoid I am about trying to teach people this stuff, because like, I know some people have very emotional reactions to seeing how quickly and crazy this stuff is, and how much it's evolved and whatnot. And then add on the motivation that I want to teach people to do it themselves, can be pretty alarming and frustrating for creatives. I get that, but the reality for what I'm trying to accomplish here is to give people a way to tell stories without needing to rely on big media to do it, you know. I don't like Hollywood. I don't like what it does to people. I don't like what it motivates people to do. So if people can find alternatives, then that's awesome. This is going to be a form of entertainment that I think that will be very interesting to keep an eye on. That's for sure. But all right, so we have a very suggestive cat. We could think of a story for this later, honestly, because I figured that'd be very boring for me to just see me kind of dabble on with ideas and stuff like that. But I do like where this is going. We can now take these 3 panels that we put together here. And I'm going to just take a look at this real quick, looking good. Merge that all together, and then bring that to our original canvas here. See how much bigger it is. Make it into a smart object, so if I do want to make these panels bigger in the future, I can. And I'm just going to drag that down. And slowly but surely, much faster than normal, we are generating our story here.